Hey, Mount Rainier. Corporal Calloway here, the Mount Rainier Police Department. Why don't you hop in the truck with me? Let's do a ride along. My name is Corporal Calloway of the Mount Rainier Police Department, and I've been with Mount Rainier since September 16th, 2019. But I've been policing now for 11 years.
So tell us a little bit, like, how does your day start when you get here? And like, clearly it's daytime, but like, you know, go ahead and tell the camera that you work days, I guess.
Yes, so I work the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. shift. We do work 12-hour shifts, but it rotates, so we have every other weekend off. A normal day for me, when I come in, of course, start with prayer and start with coffee. Prayer and coffee kind of go hand in hand with each other. And then we start going to the schools and doing crossing guard assignments.
Can I have 29 BC sound deck?
Yeah.
Go
After the crossing guard assignment,
21429.
I'm sorry, my radio's going off. After the crossing guard assignment, we then head over to City Hall and sit in front of City Hall for an hour or so, just to make sure that the other employees for the City of Mount Rainier make it inside the building safe. Sometimes we get a little knuckleheads that hang out by the bus stop. So that's the normal start of my day, and then the rest is really up in the air. Oh my goodness, how you doing?
Okay.
How you been?
All right, just came from doing doing hauling and stuff with my man down there.
Oh, okay.
It's always my pleasure though.
All right, well, you take care of yourself. Well, you know, just a little human interaction that always happens. So especially in this field, everyone knows your face. Everyone has had some type of encounter with you, whether it be a positive or negative encounter, but they always remember you. So
what would you say is the most exciting part of your job?
For me, it's the unknown.
Chillin. On a email registration before daily time 0166 on Black Actor TSX. Push me. So your volume's low. What's the tag again?
So Officer Green just pulled traffic, so we're gonna head over there and back him up.
0166.
Yeah.
Okay. Your question was, what?
Yeah, what's the most exciting part of your job?
Not knowing. The unknown is something different every single day. The most exciting part for me is when I can be impactful to someone, whether it's we come across someone who's homeless, or we come across someone who needs just help on how to better assist a situation. So to feel as if that I can be a blessing to someone else is always a great feeling.
Would you say that you like serve several roles?
Absolutely. What people fail to realize, even though we get a lot of bad rap from the media, but police officers, we are marriage counselors, we are guidance counselors, we are sometimes the mother, sometimes a father. We play so many roles in people's lives. So it's definitely a lot of hats that we wear within this profession.
And growing up, would you say that this was the career path that you would have seen yourself going down?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was a little rebel. I wouldn't say I'm a rebel, but I had dreams of pursuing modeling. I went to a whole bunch of like modeling classes, and you know, I don't even know how I really got into this profession. I started out doing security at a DC nightclub which my brother owned, and from that I started to see other female officers work at the club, and I will always sit there and be like, wow, like look at them, like they're actually pretty and they come to work with their nails done and they still mean business. Like that was just so attractive to me, that you can still be pretty and mean business. So that was pretty much like the motivation, and the fact that, you know, some people doubted me. They said I could never be the police. So for me, I'm the type of person where if someone say I can't do it, I have to prove them wrong.
So you kind of touched on, you know, women in law enforcement. How would you say your experience has been being a woman in law enforcement? And what would you say to someone or a young lady that's growing up that may want to be a police officer but thinks that it might not be a great fit for her? Like, what would you say to her?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
No, being a female in law enforcement, first, it is a male-dominant field. Sometimes you can't wear your emotions on your sleeve, especially if you have kids. Like with my son, sometimes I gotta come to work and I can't spend time with my son. I have to miss some Christmases. I have to miss some birthdays and holidays. So that's a big factor, because I'm very family oriented, and it doesn't help that my husband is also a police officer. So because he's a cop and I'm a cop, our schedules are just everywhere. But if I was to speak to the younger me or another younger female officer, I would definitely say, look, you have to have tough skin within this profession. You're going to see some horrific things, and you have to be mentally ready to encounter those. I think one of the worst things I've came across, let's see, hold on one second. Corporal Calloway. And it's a robocall. Okay. So, one of the most horrific things that I have seen within this profession was a child being a victim of rape, a female, 6-year-old female girl who was raped, and just trying to be that comfort or that motherly being for her. It literally like broke me down. Like I had to run to my cruiser and just bawl out and cry, because I couldn't show the emotion while I was with her and around other male officers. But it also shows that I'm human, because you feel sorry for these people. I think a lot of people get it twisted that police officers are not human beings, and we are. We have emotions, and regardless of what, you know, the media portrays, it's a very, at times, difficult job. For a woman who's in law enforcement, and let's say, for instance, you have to get pregnant, you gotta sit on the bench, is what we call it. You know, I had to sit out for 9 months until I had my son, and it was kind of one of the most difficult. It was strange, because you're hearing these calls go out, because you still gotta come to work, but you're hearing these calls go out, and you want to go help your brothers out, and you can't, because now you're carrying the child. And even though your child's life is more important, it's just that excitement of like, man, I need to go help. I need to go help my brothers out. So that was really difficult.
So, okay, we're gonna shift gears a little bit and kind of go back to, as you are like patrolling the streets, like what are some of the things that you look for? Like what are some of the things that like you've experienced specifically here in Mount Rainier?
So here in Mount Rainier, there's different aspects in policing where, let's say for instance, traffic, where I will sit behind a stop sign and just watch people blow stop signs all day long. Now for me as a parent, you know, I have a child that sometimes take the school bus, and when I see a violator blow past a stop sign or a school bus, it literally does something to me, because that easily could have been my child. So traffic is one big avenue for me. Drugs, if there's drugs, a certain area, higher crime area, sometimes I'll go sit over there, usually over by the shops. You'll see a lot of hand-to-hand transactions, and we have to enforce that because people don't think that the police are out here, and we are. You just don't see us.
Okay, what are some of your interests, like outside of working here or as an officer?
Some of my interests have a lot to do with ministry. As I said in my welcome video, I am currently enrolled in Bible college to get my degree in ministerial studies. I do plan on becoming a minister, and with that, just to help other people grow their relationship with Christ. Also, I love spending time with family. I am a family person, hands down. Like, if I'm not at work, I'm with my family. So, I'm a pretty boring person, I guess you could say. So I literally just, I'm trying to follow Officer Green here. I don't know where he's going to, but yeah, so I do my homework for school, for my Bible college, which is very intense, and then I come to work, and on my free days off, like I said, I spend time with family. I know, I'm boring. I really am. Now I realize it.
So, what would you say is, I don't know if you can answer this question, but what would you say is like a typical call that you get on a daily basis?
Unfortunately, a typical call that I can for certain be positive that I'm going to respond to on a daily is domestics. PG County, they're really tough on cracking down with domestic violence, but I really always oh, hold on one second.
No record on a
That's Officer Green.
Chevy expired 12/2019, Michigan Avenue Northeast.
Okay. What was the question again? Oh, yes. So, domestics. I hate going to domestics because it's always his side, her side, and the truth. And unfortunately, it's not for officers to decide who's right and who's wrong. We can always offer them certain advice or assistance, but it depends on the situation. Usually they're verbal domestics. Very rarely have I, at least while at Mount Rainier, have I responded to more physical domestics. So I haven't came across that yet. But I love to encourage other women who are domestic violence survivors to always, you know, do what's best for them, do what's best for their kids, try to leave, and always try to help them have a way out or a safe haven for them to go to.
Difficult is it for you to determine who you're going to decide is telling the truth, or what is the truth?
So the thing with, well, actually the great thing with policing is that you have black and white, then there's always that gray buffer area. It's always the officer's discretion of how they want to proceed with any type of call we come across. So if it is a domestic call, we will look for bruising or any type of inflicted pain from one party to another. Usually if they both have signs or marks of bruising or black eye or scratches or whatever, then usually both of them would go to jail. Or we can just say, you know what, you guys are just mutual combatants. Either you guys separate or work it out. But usually they end up going to jail. Now if it's one-sided, if the female is saying or the male is saying that she hit me and the female don't have any marks, but the male has a black eye, then guess what? The female is going to jail. So there's a lot of telltale signs that we look for first before we make our decision. Me personally, as an officer, I don't like giving out tickets. So if I see someone run a stop sign, do I have to necessarily give them a ticket? No, I can give them a warning, and it's always my discretion. My rule of thumb is if they're respectful and their license and everything's good with their license, then hey, you know, you're gonna get a warning from me. But if, you know, some people just don't like the police, so if they're nasty, more than likely that kind of decides which direction I'm gonna go. And of course, if their license is messed up, or they're driving revoked, or their tags, or something is wrong with the vehicle, then unfortunately I will have to give them a ticket, because now it's forced in my hand and I have to enforce the laws of the state of Maryland.
And do they teach you this in like the academy to have like some sort of detective skills, or like is it just literally your inner discretion, like really that's it?
Well, of course, the police academy is an intense 6 months, and we go through 2 weeks of criminal law, which is very grueling. But the academy always prepares you for the streets, and we even do mock traffic stops where some of the officers will come down and they'll volunteer their time and services, and we'll use their police car, and we'll, you know, pull over a mock, you know, another police officer who's like role playing. So we're always in a controlled, safe environment for where if we do mess up, then it can be corrected safely. So the academy always prepares you for the real world. Even again, as a female officer, I think I got it the worst because you know, they try to say, oh yeah, sweetheart, won't you come search me or whatever, and I have to learn how to react to that. You know, am I going to allow my emotions to get the best of me where I could possibly do something that can catch me a lawsuit, or I'm just going to, you know, kind of wave my hand like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, you keep talking that talk and keep it moving. So you always have to pick and choose your battles. And like I said, I've been doing this for 11 years where I've learned the right and wrong things to do. Policing is very on-the-job training, because the academy teaches you the basics, but it's until you get into the field and you come across some life or death situations, that's when you will have your eye opener.
I know that the law can be very black and white, right?
Mm-hmm.
And does it ever become difficult for you to, like, okay, well, this person's going to jail, or this person is going to get this fine or ticket or whatever the case may be? Like, does it ever become difficult to, I guess, serve a punishment on someone?
Again, that depends on the situation. If someone just robbed a person, oh, I have no problem in taking you to jail, because again, I always reflect things back to my family. That victim could have been my mom, or that could have been my dad, where, you know, of course, as anybody, always want to protect their family members. So there are some arrests that I've made that I felt terrible making, such as, it was like a 89-year-old lady, and she had a warrant back from like 1986, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't want to do this, but you got a warrant for your arrest. And she done forgot all about this warrant, and she's like, look, you know, when I was, you know, such and such years old, you know, I was out there wild. And I was like, okay, I know, but you got a warrant. So I felt horrible taking an 80-something-year-old lady to jail, but I was very, you know, I don't want to say I was kind of lax, but I was more comforting towards her, where like I didn't put her handcuffs behind her back, and, you know, I had her to sit up front with me or whatever. Like, I didn't treat her like a full-blown prisoner. So that was difficult, and unfortunately in this profession you gotta make some difficult decisions.
Actually, we'll do it this way. So how long have you been in law enforcement overall?
11 long years.
And would you say that, like, throughout these 11 years that things have changed, and like, or your view of law enforcement has changed, or your perception of it?
Oh, absolutely. When I started policing in 2009, the police at one point was respected, very respected, and it's almost like, uh-oh. No, come on. You have to stop sign. Go. The police were respected then, to a certain extent, I should say. But once 2014 came and the whole Black Lives Matter movement came about, it really kind of shined a light on the negative parts of policing. And again, for myself being an African American female, you know, some people will say, hey, you know, you got two X's over you, like you're African American and you're a female. So there was certain things I had to overcome. I've had to overcome racism. I've had to overcome just being a female, where there's been certain instances where I was looked over because, oh no, we need a female officer to just come along. Well, like, no, how about you just need an officer because I went through the same academy you did. Like, you know, I could do the same thing. Not to say that I'm equal to a man, but in this profession, a Joe Blow citizen who we're stopping, they're not going to care if I'm a female or not. All they see is the police. That's all they see. So there's been certain things I've had to overcome within the profession itself. As far as it's changing, people are now more officers now are more conscious of their general orders, more conscious of the laws, because now officers, they don't want to be hemmed up, they don't want to catch a lawsuit, they don't want to get fired, because this is the way that we provide for our family. Even though, again, the profession has its ups and downs, this is still our livelihood. So, oh, well, we got chickens. You want to see me chase a chicken? Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious. Hold on. Are you filming? Are you filming? Are you filming?
This chickens are huge.
Wow, it's a whole rooster. It's a rooster. Hi, go. Get back in your hen house. And he pimping. He got two women with him.
That was great. That was amazing.
Okay, fantastic. See, you never know what you're going to get in this profession. One day you're chasing bad guys, the next day you're chasing a whole bunch of roosters. So, all right. I'm also a comedian. Should I throw that in there too?
Yes. Tell us a joke.
Oh man, I can never tell a joke on the spot. I can tell like stupid jokes, like dad jokes, but I'm always like the goofy one. I won class clown in high school. So again, you telling me in high school that I was gonna be a cop, I literally would have looked at you like you had like 10 eyeballs. So
So kind of going back to what you were just talking about, what would you say to somebody that has experienced something, I guess, not so positive, had a not so positive experience with another person in law enforcement, not specifically you, but what would you say to that person? Yeah.
what would I say to them, as
like coming from another officer who clearly knows that, you know, like not all of you are bad.
Yes.
So what would you say to that person?
So there's a passage in the Bible, and I even though I like to crack jokes a lot, I always reference the Bible, certain passages of scripture. So John 7:24 says, "Judge not on outward appearance, but judge the righteous judgment." And for me, the understanding of that is, don't judge me because I have on this uniform. You know, judge me based upon my character. If I was respectful to you, if I was, you know, nice to you, if I helped you out, respect me as an officer because of the way I treated you, not because of what the media is telling you that I am. Because you don't know me, I don't know you, but I show everyone the same respect, and respect goes both ways. So that's what I would tell them. Don't judge me on my uniform, because at the end of the day, when I'm off, you wouldn't know if I'm the police at all. I'm telling you, I got my hair out, my hair down, nails, you know, flipping my hair and everything. You would not know I'm a cop at all until I put this uniform on. So it's like, treat me with the same respect you would treat me if you saw me walking in Walmart with my son or my husband, you know? So that's how I feel about it. And that's what I would tell them.
Like, what was one of the funnier calls that you've ever had?
Okay. Funnier calls. Okay, so I'm that type of officer where I find laughter in almost any situation. Because that's how I cope. A lot of officers have their own special coping mechanism to get through the day or to get through certain things. For me, it's laughter. So if I can laugh at a situation or crack a joke, not to minimize the situation at hand, but sometimes some things are funny. So I had an incident where a gentleman, this was at my previous agency, not at Mount Rainier. I had a gentleman who suffered from diabetes. He was a diabetic. And he said, I'm gonna kill myself. And his way of killing himself was to go to the aisle of the grocery store and grab a bag of sugar and ingest the sugar. So, oh man, that sounds so horrible. It does. But it's hilarious. Like, I guess you're not, I don't know. I mean, are you supposed to laugh in policing?
I mean, but that's okay. We can go into that now. So
Okay.
Clearly, you never really know what to expect on a daily basis. But some of the things that you guys see and experience are not normal, number one. And number two, they can be, I'm trying to figure out the right word, quite horrifying, I guess. How would you say that you guys deal with that? Like, how do you personally deal with, like, the everyday?
So, okay. So there was a thing that they taught us in the academy called a data dump, where this is why I live far. I don't live in PG County. So when I'm traveling from work to home, I take that time to do my data dump, because me and my husband has made a promise that we don't bring work home. We don't talk about work at all. Unless it's like something where I'm having an issue with something, I'll go, hey, hon, what do you think about this? But as far as like drama or anything going on at work, we kind of just like yeah, whatever, it stays at work. But I do a data dump. So while I'm driving from work to home, my mind is literally debriefing every call I went through, every stop I had. It's just literally just dumping out, because I feel as if you hold on to a lot of that stuff, it can really damage you internally and mentally. Some things, like I said, you have to try to find the laughter in it. And sometimes you can't.
Lincoln Mary Frank. Union.
Repeat that question, please. I do a data dump while I'm in the car.
That's right. So would you say that you've become desensitized to a lot of things over time?
Yes and no. Yes, as in, hey, there might be a time where I have to go to a death call and the person's been dead for some days and it just doesn't look pretty at all. Because I've been to so many death calls or homicides, it doesn't faze me, I should say, as it probably would a regular citizen who probably can't even see the sight of blood. But for me, I'm just, say a little prayer for their soul and try to keep it moving.
2005 Lincoln Navigator break. It's not currently registered tri-state. It was registered through Maryland.
So
For David Adams,
circling back
3645 to Giovanni Cole.
like working as a team and as a squad, how do you feel about the Mount Rainier Police Department and the community, the vibes, all of that?
Can you run 29 by me on Sundays?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry, because I was looking at the
777.
guys. How do I feel about Mount Rainier and what?
Like the police department in general, like, do you think there's a good sense of community within the police department and like support, I guess?
Oh, yes.
Everyone?
Absolutely. One of the reasons why I came to Mount Rainier is because I was seeing the direction that Chief Morgan was. I was seeing the direction where Chief Morgan was taking the city. I kind of, had my binoculars on Mount Rainier, but I just never took that step because of some of the previous incidents that has happened within the agency that, I've heard of. And of course, the policing in general within this county is like a big giant high school, and everybody talks. So, so far, everything is great. The commanders are extremely professional. I feel like I do have a second family away from my own personal family. So I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy the fact that I can be myself. I can laugh. I can joke with everyone. And it's not like that uptight environment where, oh my gosh, you have a speck on your shoe and you're getting written up for it. So it's a really lax environment, but it's almost like you don't want to let the chief down because, he's like, he's cool. Like he doesn't talk down to you like he's the, chief and you're nothing. He's very big on, look, a leader leads from the rear. You guys take forth and I direct you, which I find very just awesome about this agency. Being as I've been to 2 other agencies, just the leadership here has been so different, and everyone's here just understanding of your personal life, like, hey, I gotta go get my kid, or it's me and my husband's anniversary, I need off. Like everyone here is just awesome. And it's not for brownie points. Now I really meant that from the bottom of my heart. So one of the things that really upsets me when I when I have a traffic stop is people are literally shaking when they come in contact with the police. And that it makes me feel horrible because I know the type of person I am. Like, for them to be terrified of me, it really just makes me feel bad because, hey, I'm just pulling you over because you ran a stop sign, like, you know. But they don't know that, and they don't know which officer they're going to get or the type of officer they're going to get. So this gentleman right here that I just pulled over, you know, he's shaking like a leaf because I pulled him over. So certain things like that kind of, it really makes me feel bad.